Greetings and salutations, Pokemon trainers and enthusiasts of all kinds. I'm Steve-O, and my off-screen partner in crime,
Laser Chicken,
is here to ask you one very simple question. So you want to be the very best. Today's episode, we want to discuss one of the most iconic Pokemon battle formats ever, 6 vs 6 single battles. We will discuss how to get started, things to look out for, and guidelines for building a balanced team. Now, what do we mean by single battles, though? We don't want to make any assumptions here, and this is for newbies and veterans alike. It's all welcome. 6 vs 6 single battles means each trainer will get a full team of 6 Pokemon with which to do battle, though only one Pokemon per trainer will be out on the field at any given time. This is the classic way of doing Pokemon battles, hailing all the way back to Generation 1, where I got my start in competitive battling, and it should be noted that this is different from the current official Nintendo Video Game Championships, or VGC for short, format, which uses double battles, meaning 2 Pokemon per player out at a time, and only allows you to use 4 of your 6 Pokemon in any given match. So why is this important to distinguish? Well, first and foremost, the format is going to influence what is effective or ineffective in any given match. For example, in single battles, switching Pokemon to have a favorable matchup is incredibly crucial to success when there is only one Pokemon out at a time per trainer. If you have your Raichu out there versus their Golem, it's going to be a very short matchup. Since Ground is immune to electric attacks. Do not let the anime fool you. The Pokemon movie lied. Pikachu is not taking out Golem with a Thunderbolt. It's not going to happen. Now, in doubles formats and other setups, switching for a favorable matchup is still a big deal, but when they're in singles, it is that much more so when there is only one Pokemon per side. And as such, it is much more common, and because of that, entry hazards, or things like spikes and stealth rocks, are a much bigger threat to your Pokemon. So, that gives you kind of some context for what we're about to discuss, but format aside, up front, we need to discuss the single most important thing in all of competitive Pokemon battling. That is, of course, the type chart. You will live or die by this thing. You need to memorize it if you want to have any chance of success in competitive Pokemon battling. And I kid you not that out the gate, your knowledge of that type chart will make or break you. Print it out, have it with you when you battle at first. Reference it whenever you are unsure. It is the most important thing for you to memorize before you really dive in. So breaking down what this whole thing means, the left column lists the attacking moves type, and the top row lists the defensive Pokemon's type. This will tell you if an attack is a neutral hit, meaning 1 time or normal damage, super effective, meaning 2 times the damage, not very effective, 1/2 damage, or no effect at all / immune, meaning there was no damage and no effect to the attack whatsoever. Most Pokemon will resist their own type, though there are some notable exceptions, such as Dragon-type Pokemon are weak to Dragon-type attacks. Now please remember, this is based on the attacking move type, not the attacking Pokemon's type. There are advantages to using a fire move with a fire Pokemon, but we'll talk more about that in our later videos as we get to specific Pokemon. The other thing to consider, and why this can get a bit tricky, is Pokemon that have more than one type, or as we call them, dual types. So to explain and try and make sense of this, we're going to use the Red version Classic Charizard, who is a fire type and a flying type. This means that it gets the strengths and weaknesses of both types. When there is an overlap, weaknesses and resistances will usually cancel each other out. So in Charizard's case, the fire resistance to ice would cancel out the flying weakness to ice, meaning it would result in neutral damage. Pretty cool. Immunities will overrule weaknesses. So that means that the ground weakness of that fire has is completely negated by the immunity offered by flying types, which is great for our fire dragons example. Now, if the two types share a weakness or resistance, that effect is going to be cumulative. So fire and flying are both resistant to bug and grass, meaning a grass or bug attack will only deal 1/4 damage. Yes, that is great news for our Charizard. But they also share a rock weakness, meaning Charizard takes a staggering 4 times damage from a rock move. It will have a very short lifespan when the rocks start flying at it, so it is best to get it out of harm's way by switching. So this is the type chart in a nutshell, and will be the guide to really deciding whether you're going to dominate or be subjugated in your battles. So use it well. So moving back to team building for the format, we will get 6 Pokemon to use, and all 6 will be available every battle. This allows us to have a great deal of variety, and we want to make sure that our 6 Pokemon share as few common weaknesses as possible. Otherwise, you run the risk of one bad type matchup rolling through your whole team. So having 3 of your 6 Pokemon weak to fighting types, for example, would be very ill-advised. Additionally, by having more variety in our team, if you know a move that your current Pokemon is weak to is coming, you can switch to one that will be immune or resistant to it. The predictions on when to switch are a large part of successful competitive battling, and will become easier as you grow more familiar with the type chart and various Pokemon. But where do we start choosing our Pokemon? There are myriad of ways to begin creating your team of Pokemon, and you could consider overall team strategies, like making a team of tanky defensive Pokemon. Maybe it will be a team that uses weather, like rain or sunlight, to boost their attacks and overpower their opponents. I played one gentleman in Team Rocket Go who uses a whole team designed to put your opponents to sleep. There really isn't a right answer to this. But for me personally, I have found one of the easiest ways to go is to pick a couple of my favorite Pokemon, or maybe some ones that I've been wanting to use for a while, and build the team off of them. Now, this is a fun and simple way to organically select Pokemon, since it offers a clear path in selection and adjustments. So going back to the Charizard we discussed earlier in the type chart, I would want to make sure that Charizard is teamed up with a water or grass Pokemon, perhaps to deal with those pesky rock types trying to drag my dragon down. Now, in our next video, we're going to begin this process with our first member of the team, and one of my favorite Pokemon ever. That is, of course, the Dragonland Shark, Garchomp. So tune in next time to see how we will build the front runner of our team and how it will lead us to victory. If you have any suggestions or questions regarding single battles, leave it in the comments, and we would love to hear from you. So with that, we're signing off till our next installment. Until next time, may the repels never wear off.
And may the crits be ever in your favor.
Thanks for watching.